In the previous session, we have just created one additional thread apart from the main thread, right? In all the programs that we have seen so far, only one thread additionally we have created other than the mandatory main thread that will be available in each and every program, right? Apart from the main thread, we have created only one thread. So now in this session, let us see creating more than one thread other than the main thread. So multiple threads. Instead of creating only second thread, we'll create second, third, fourth thread also like that. Okay. So how to do that is here we are going to use the second approach, that is by implementing runnable interface that we have seen in the previous session. So I'm creating a class, new thread, and implementing runnable interface. Here creating a name variable which is of type string. So to store the name of the thread, and I'm creating a reference variable for thread class t. In the constructor, what I am doing is uh, I'm passing one string parameter for this new thread constructor. And then what is the parameter name? Thread name. So I'm assigning thread name to name. What is name? String variable that we declared here. So whatever thread name we get as parameter when this constructor is invoked, that will be saved into the name variable. Then I'm instantiating the thread object just like we have done in the previous program. So first parameter is this keyword, second parameter is a string. So whatever name you want to give that thread, so you have to pass that name. So we have already given the name stored in this variable name, right? So I'll give that as parameter, second parameter, then automatically whatever parameter you pass to this constructor in this thread name, that name will be passed as second parameter and the thread will be created with that name. Then using system.out.println, I'm printing the thread object information. So this will print the name of the thread, priority of the thread, and group of the thread to which it belongs to. And then, like as usual, you are making a call to the start method. Then start method in turn will make a call to the run method. The run method uses the same try catch block. We are using the same for loop uh, and suspending the thread for 1000 milliseconds here instead of 500 milliseconds, right? uh, and coming back to the main thread program, main method, the class name is given as multi-thread demo. And look at how I'm creating objects for the new thread class. Three objects I'm creating because I want to create three new threads, right? So for the constructor, for the first object, I'm passing one string parameter. So the name of the thread will be created with the name one, right? For the second object I'm passing two, so the thread will be created with its name as two. And for the third one, creating I'm passing three, so the third thread will be created with the name three. Now what is happening? Apart from main thread, three more new threads are created. The first thread name is one, second thread is two, third thread is three. So totally how many threads are now going to run? Four threads, including the main thread. One is the main thread, the remaining three are the child threads that are created from the main thread. Okay. So even the main thread also has the same try catch block. Here I'm not using that for loop in the try block here. Simply I'm suspending the thread for 10,000 milliseconds because there are three threads now, and each thread, what will happen? Each thread will be suspended for 1000 milliseconds, and each thread has to complete how many iterations? Five iterations. Right? So that's why, to ensure that the main thread will end at the last, what I'm doing is I'm suspending the main thread for 10,000 milliseconds. That is for almost 10 seconds, right? So as usual, main thread exiting message is given here, and uh, child thread exiting also is given here in the class. But here the child thread name is displayed is stored in the name variable. So you are displaying system.out.println name concatenated with exit. So one exiting, two exiting, three exiting will be the message. I hope you understood this one. What is going to happen here is, first when main thread will be when you run this program, and then an object is created here. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Could you please mute your audio?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you create this first new thread object, what is happening? The constructor will be called, and for this thread name, one will be passed as parameter, and that one which is there in thread name will be assigned to name. So what is name containing now? One. Then you are instantiating one thread object here, passing this keyword as first parameter and name as a second parameter. So what is the name containing? One. So a thread is created now here with its name as one. Then you are displaying the thread object information and then making a call to start method, and start method in turn will call run method. So a new thread has been instantiated and it will start running, right? This will be executed. And meanwhile, if it is suspended, then we'll come back to the main thread, and in the main thread, what you're doing in the next step, you're creating one more thread. So this time, the thread name you're giving us two. So again, this constructor will be invoked. Thread name will be passed with two, and that will be stored in name. And then you're instantiating one more time the thread object t, and this time you're passing its name as name, that is two. And again, you're displaying that second thread information also and calling start method. And the start method in turn will call run method, and run method will be executing. And in meanwhile, if it is suspended, then it will come back to the main method. And main method, what is the next step in the main method? Creating one more thread with the name 3. So again, the constructor will be called. Constructor will assign the thread name as 3 and display its information, and then again call start method. So start method in turn will call run method. So at this point now, totally we have four threads under execution. Main thread, 1, 2, and 3. So the switching will be taking place between main thread, 1 thread, 2 thread, 3 thread, like this, uh, whenever they are suspended. And finally, all the threads will end by displaying their name, 1 exiting, 2 exiting, 3 exiting, and finally after that, main also will exit. So when you run this program, see, first you are getting information about thread 1. Uh, its name, its thread priority, and its thread group. Then you're getting about 2. Name is 2, priority is 5, and group is main. Then even before thread 3 is created, one iteration of thread 1 is being completed, thread 2 is being completed. Then after that, third thread is being created, and its information, its name is 3, priority is 5, and group is main. Then it's one second iteration of first iteration of thread 2. Right? This is about thread 1. This is about thread 2. Then the first iteration of thread 3. Again, second iteration of 1. Second iteration of 2. Second iteration of 3. Then third iteration of 2. For 1, 2 is executed. Then after that, 1 is executed. Order is changing. It depends. It is not dependent on us, right? It depends on the hardware. So we cannot do anything. The switching takes place uh, randomly in any order. First 1, then 3, then 2, and again 2, then 4, 3, like that. It may be switching in any order. It depends upon several factors. We cannot expect how it will be going, right? So then after 2, 1, 3, again 1, then 2, 3, right? 2 again, 1 again, then 3. Then after all the 5 iterations of all the 3 threads are completed, first 2 is exiting, then 1 is exiting, then 3 is exiting. Then finally main thread is exiting. In the main thread, we didn't write any for loop. So that's why there are no iterations in the for loop. Got it? Understood? We are creating only one new thread class, implementing runnable interface, but how many times you are creating objects? 3 times. So how many threads you want to create? That many times you have to create objects, and you have to give the names. So for giving the name, you just pass the name of the thread that you want to create as a parameter to the constructor. Then the constructor will do the rest of the thing. Constructor will create a new thread with that whatever name you have passed parameter to it, and display its information and start the thread. And automatically start method will call the run method. So the thread starts executing. And again, when it switches back to the main thread will again create one more thread. So next time when it switches to main thread, another thread is created. In that way, finally all the 3, 4 threads will start running, and switching takes place between 1, 2, 3, and even main. But main is not doing any other task. It is not displaying any for loop values and all. So that's why we don't get any output related to the for loop or anything in the main thread. So it is just being suspended for 10,000 milliseconds each time it comes here. Okay, so understood.
Sir, why it's taking switching place between the two, met, uh, three threads? Like first it's displaying thread one, next it's displaying thread two, and
Yeah,
then it's going into the loop, right?
yeah, yeah. Why? Because see, first when we create object here, we are creating for thread one,
Yeah.
and thread one will be created here, and it will start executing, and it will start executing this for loop iteration, right? But after one iteration, what is happening? It is being suspended for 1000 milliseconds. Then what will happen when it is suspended? You'll come back to the main method here,
Okay.
right?
Okay, sir.
So
Understood.
when it comes
Now
to the
understood.
main method, now second thread is created with 2. Then this also will start executing, right? Then
Okay.
after it is suspended, it may come to main thread, or it may go back to already, because there is one more thread created. Before 2, 1 is created, right? So it may switch between 1 and 2 also instead of switching back to main,
Okay, sir.
right? So earlier there were only 2 threads, main thread and a newly created thread. So there is definitely switching will take place only between those two. But now after creating 1 and 2, there are 3 threads now, main thread 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So when 2 is suspended, 2 may return back to main thread, or it may go to thread 1 also.
Yes.
And when if it goes to 1, if 1 is suspended, you may return back to 2, or you may come to main thread. So in that case, it is coming to main thread. When it comes to main thread, then the new third thread is created.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that is
Okay, sir.
why, see,
Understood.
first new thread is created, 1, then 2 is created, then after 2 is suspended, we are returning back to 1, and first iteration is completed. And after one iteration is completed, then suspended, one thread will be suspended. Then after that, instead of going to 2, it is coming to main thread, and main thread is creating a new thread here. That's third thread. Then after third thread is suspended, you are going to 2. So 2 is completing one iteration. After 2 completes one iteration, instead of going to 1, again it is coming to 3. Right? So 3 is displaying the first iteration. Then after 3, from 3 it is switching to 1. And from 1 again 2, 2 to 3, 3 to again 2. Right? So instead of going to 1, it is going to 2. And from 2 it is going to 1. Then again from 1, 3, and again from 3 back to 1 instead of going to 2. So in that way, in whatever order it wants, it will be uh, scheduled, and suspension will take place. And when suspension is done, out of all the available 3 threads, the other alternative 3 threads, to whichever thread it is convenient, it will be switching. So that's why the order will be
Oh,
changing.
yes, I got it.
Okay, right.